This is the story of a woman trapped with a sadistic husband. And the maid she hired to help her escape him. At least, that's what everyone believed.
The prologue begins in a state of frozen tension. A woman sits in a house, waiting. She knows that if she leaves now, it will be in handcuffs. The opportunity to run has passed. Police officers are inside the home now, and they have discovered what is upstairs. There is no turning back. They are seconds away from reading her rights. She does not understand why they are waiting, why they haven't spoken yet. Perhaps they are trying to trick her into a confession. She decides, with a grim certainty, that they will have no such luck. The story then shifts, and we're introduced to Millie. She is living out of her 10-year-old Nissan, surviving on sandwiches because they are cheap and easy to assemble in the back seat. She is sick of them. Millie has carefully doctored her resume. She is not in the habit of doing this, but she is desperate. She has been out of work and homeless for a while. She loves kids, but admits she hasn't had much of a chance to be around them in the past 10 years, a vague statement that hangs in the air. For her interview with Nina Winchester, she prepared meticulously, crafting a specific look with giant tortoiseshell glasses. She has dirty blonde hair and a desperate need for a job. She tells people she is from Brooklyn. Nina Winchester opens the door of her stunning home on Long Island. She is in her late 30s, described as having stocky legs, a double chin, and a sharp, jaw-length blonde bob. Her hair is shiny and golden. She seems genuinely excited and friendly. As she gives Millie a tour, the sheer wealth of the house is on full display. A home theater, a lavish home office, multiple bedrooms and guest suites. The tour ends at a thick, heavy door. Behind it is a dark, windowless stairwell. At the top is a finished attic. The ceiling slants and there is one tiny window. The room contains a single twin bed and 2 bare light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, with no lampshades. Nina asks if it is okay, saying it is better than just floorboards. Millie feels a wave of unease she cannot place. She looks out the small window. It looks out on the back of the house, an area where no one would ever see her. She thinks to herself that if she were in trouble and screamed, no one would hear. She dismisses the thought. It is better than the back seat of her Nissan, and she tells Nina she will take the job. Nina explains she will need to check Millie's references. They walk back downstairs and meet Cecilia, the Winchesters' 9-year-old daughter. She has light blue eyes and gorgeous blonde hair like her mother, but her gaze is unsettling. She stares through Millie as if she can see her soul. Millie thinks that in a movie about a cult of creepy children, this girl would be cast immediately without an audition. She also thinks there is at least a 25% chance the child will murder her in her sleep, but she still wants the job. As Millie leaves the interview, she is certain she will not get the position. Her resume is 100% fake. As soon as Nina checks, the lie will be exposed. She walks toward her car and passes a landscaper trimming the hedges. She offers a friendly greeting. The man simply stares at her. She says, "Okay," and keeps walking. She looks back. He is still watching her. His expression sends a chill down her spine, and he shakes his head almost imperceptibly, as if trying to warn her. Sitting in her car, Millie gets a call from a fast food restaurant called Munchburgers. She is told she did not get the job. This is a blow, as she had been told they would hire anyone, even someone with a record. Her full name is Willaloo Helmina, a name her parents gave her. She has not spoken to them in 10 years. As she starts to cry in her car, her phone rings again. It is Nina Winchester. Nina says her life is falling apart and she has so much laundry to fold. She asks how soon Millie can get there. Millie says she will be there tomorrow, as she has nothing to pack. The next day, Millie arrives at the gated community. All the houses are behind electric gates. She notices the Winchester house looks freshly painted. She cannot figure out how to open the gate and sees the landscaper again. She calls out to him asking for help. Up close, she sees he is actually quite handsome, in his mid-30s with thick, damp black hair, olive skin, and rugged features. His eyes are very black, the pupil indistinguishable from the iris, and his gaze makes her step back. He begins speaking rapidly in what she assumes is Italian, based on a movie she once saw. He repeats that he speaks no English. He resorts to pantomime, gesturing that she works here and needs to be let in. He understands and opens the gate. As she walks past him, he speaks again, urgently. He says his name is Enzo. Then he repeats a word, looking like he is struggling to find more English. He hisses a word in Italian just as the front door of the house unlocks. Nina steps out, and Enzo immediately disappears. Millie only catches the word pericolo. Nina greets her warmly. When they walk inside, Millie is stunned. The house that was spotless during the interview is now a disaster. Counters are covered in clutter, the kitchen is a mess. Nina gestures around, saying this is why they need her. She also presents Millie with a new iPhone, noting that her flip phone is outdated. Millie realizes she is now on the family plan. As they carry Millie's bag up to the attic, Andrew Winchester steps out of his home office. He is in a gray suit, handsome with brown eyes. He seems confused and asks who Millie is. Nina reminds him she hired her. Andrew seems out of touch with what happens in his own home, focused on his work. He inherited a company from his father and doubled its profits. He's polite, telling Millie to call him Andrew. When he says this, Millie notices a muscle twitch under Nina's right eye. Nina curtly tells him he needs to get to work. He apologizes and leaves. Millie comments that he seems really nice. Nina's expression darkens as she slams the door. She asks Millie where her glasses are, the ugly tortoiseshell pair from the interview. Millie panics and lies, saying she wears contacts. Nina says she should wear them more often. Finally, in the attic room, Millie drops her bag and looks around. She immediately notices the door. It only locks from the outside. When she asks Nina about this, Nina explains they used to use the room as a closet and locked it then. She says they lost the key. When Millie asks for a key, Nina's tone sharpens. She asks what Millie would need to hide from them, then quickly laughs it off as a joke. Then Millie tries to open the window. It is painted shut. Fresh paint seals it closed. She comments, the room is a death trap. Nina leaves her alone. Millie starts to unpack and notices strange scratching marks on the back of the door. She tries to dismiss her paranoia. She looks out her tiny window and sees Enzo still working in the yard. Remembering her new phone, she types the Italian word into a browser. The signal is weak in the attic. After almost a minute, the translation appears on her screen. Danger. The days pass. Millie cleans the house, which takes an enormous amount of time. She wonders how it got so messy in just 1 week. She finds marinating chicken in the refrigerator with instructions written on the bag as if left by someone else. When Cecilia comes home from school, she is demanding and difficult. Millie offers to make her a snack she loved as a kid, Ritz crackers with peanut butter and a banana slice. Cecilia immediately begins screaming, accusing Millie of trying to kill her. Nina rushes in, furious, insisting she told Millie about Cecilia's life-threatening peanut allergy. Millie protests that no one told her. She asks why there is peanut butter in the house if it could kill the child. Nina snaps that they might need it. That evening, Andrew comes home. Millie compliments the beautiful home, and Andrew credits Nina for keeping everything together. Nina walks in looking perfectly put together. Later, while cleaning, Millie studies the photographs on the mantle. There is an old photo of Nina and Andrew together. Nina looks drastically different. She is at least 50 pounds thinner. Her hair is not as blonde, and she wears less makeup and casual clothes. Andrew looks exactly the same. The discrepancy plants a seed of doubt in Millie's mind. Nina's behavior becomes increasingly erratic. One day, she dumps a carton of milk onto the kitchen floor, claiming she was looking for some lost PTA notes. She screams at Millie for the mess. Andrew witnesses this and simply says, Nina has a good heart. She is just high-strung. Nina gives Millie a trash bag full of designer dresses she can no longer fit into, saying she has gained weight. When she realizes the dresses are in Millie's size, she tells Millie to keep them. adding cruelly that Millie has nothing, while she has love and a family. During this exchange, Nina mentions that she and Andy are trying to have a baby. Millie asks if she's pregnant, but Nina clarifies they are not yet, though they have an appointment with a specialist soon. The way she refers to having a baby, not another baby, reinforces Millie's suspicion that Cecilia might not be hers. The weeks continue in a monotonous cycle of abuse. Nina and Cecilia play a game of contradictory demands. Nina will send Millie to the store for a specific item, then scream at her for wasting money when she returns with it, claiming she hates it. Cecilia does the same with food requests. One day, Nina calls and orders Millie to pick Cecilia up from school. When Millie arrives, Cecilia refuses to go with her, insisting she always rides with a friend's mother to karate. A call to Nina confirms this. Nina denies ever asking Millie to pick her up, even though the call was minutes earlier. The other mothers at the school look at Millie with disdain, the unspoken judgment of the help hanging in the air. Andrew remains the only seemingly normal person in the house. One night, Millie has insomnia. She creeps downstairs to watch television, settling on an episode of Family Feud. Andrew comes down for a glass of water. He gets it from the sink. Millie, noticing the expensive water purifier on the counter, asks him why he doesn't use that. He shrugs and says, "It's never poisoned me before." The offhand comment strikes Millie as strange. Another day, while waiting at the school, Millie overhears some of the wealthy mothers gossiping. They explicitly call Nina insane. Later, when cleaning the master bathroom, Millie opens the medicine cabinet. It is filled with dozens of pill bottles. The prescriptions are for antipsychotics, medications to treat schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, delirium, agitation, and acute psychosis. They are all in Nina Winchester's name. Millie has a meeting with her parole officer, a woman named Pam. The meetings are mandatory. Millie reflects that after prison, she worked at a bar but was fired. She made a deal with the bar owner not to involve the police because whatever happened that got her fired would have sent her back to prison to finish the remaining 5 years of her 15-year sentence. She went to prison at 17, but she still has not revealed her crime. Back at the house, a simple comment from Andrew unravels another of Nina's lies. He comes down late at night for a snack and asks if it would be gross to eat peanut butter straight from the jar. Millie, surprised, tells him to go ahead, as long as he doesn't kiss Cecilia goodnight. Andrew asks why. Millie explains the allergy. Andrew looks confused and says Cecilia is not allergic to peanuts. He explains that he met Nina right after Cecilia was born. He is the only father she has ever known, and they are trying to have a baby because he wants a large family. He mentions that Cecilia looks just like Nina. Millie notes his phrasing. She looks like Nina, not that she takes after her. Nina hosts a PTA meeting at the house. The women are awful, speaking about Millie as if she is invisible. When Millie politely addresses her as Nina, Nina snaps at her, demanding to be called Mrs. Winchester. While serving drinks, Millie follows 2 of the women to the bathroom and eavesdrops. They gossip about how much weight Nina has gained and how she's letting herself go. They comment that her roots are showing, revealing dark hair beneath the blonde. One woman remarks that she doesn't want to be the one to send Nina back to the mental institution. Millie's isolation in the house grows. After hearing Andrew and Nina fighting late one night, followed by a loud crash, she runs downstairs to check. She finds Nina with a bleeding hand. Andrew is there, and the atmosphere is tense. After that, Nina explicitly forbids Millie from coming downstairs at night under any circumstances. She is confined to the attic after dark. She mentions to Nina that the window is painted shut, a fire hazard. Nina dismissively asks if there is going to be a fire. The attic door is sticky. The first few times, Millie panics, thinking she has been locked in, but a hard jiggle always opens it. It feels like it's only a matter of time before it won't. The tension escalates. Andrew, in a moment of private conversation, reveals the full story of why Nina was institutionalized. She tried to drown Cecilia. When Cecilia was a baby, Nina drugged her, attempted to drown her in the bathtub, and then tried to kill herself with an overdose of pills. Andrew, worried when they didn't answer the phone, called the police, who arrived just in time to save them both. This is why she was sent away. A new conflict arises when Andrew asks Millie to do something nice for Nina. He knows Nina is devastated by the news that she cannot have children. He wants to surprise her with tickets to a Broadway show she has been desperate to see. He tells Millie to ask Nina for dates that work and to buy the tickets, no matter the cost. Millie does so. Nina confirms the dates, and Millie purchases expensive, non-refundable tickets. As the date approaches, Nina mentions how excited she is for the show next weekend. Millie corrects her, reminding her the show is this weekend. Nina's demeanor shifts. She insists she told Millie the wrong dates, that she distinctly remembers saying she would be driving Cecilia to summer camp in Massachusetts this weekend. She will be gone overnight. The tickets are Millie's fault, and the cost will be deducted from her salary. Andrew overhears the confrontation and intervenes, telling Millie not to worry, he'll call the credit card company and get a refund. The day Nina leaves for the camp, she is gone. Andrew pulls Millie aside. He admits he couldn't get the refund. He has an idea. Nina will never know. The hotel room at the plaza is still reserved. He tells Millie to take a friend and use the tickets. Millie protests, saying she has no friends. She has never seen a Broadway show and would love to, but she has no one to go with. Andrew, with a gentle smile, offers to take her himself. He says he would love to see someone experience their first Broadway play. He drives them into the city. Millie has nothing fancy to wear, so she puts on one of the designer dresses Nina gave her. She looks transformed. They go to the show and have a wonderful time. Afterwards, they go to a nice dinner. The evening feels magical and utterly forbidden.